Hello, and welcome aboard to this episode of the We Are Reading One Piece podcast. This is a podcast dedicated to following the entire story of One Piece from beginning to end as we focus on each volume. We keep the discussion spoiler-free for new fans of the series, so this is the perfect place to follow along, whether you're new to the series or just want to revisit the world of One Piece with us. This week, we will be covering the second part of Volume 62, Adventure on Fishman Island, which covers chapters 610 through 614. My name is Joel, and I'll be your host. Joining me today, we have Sean.
This is Sean.
And we have Evan.
Evan here.
Yeah, so we are pretty much here at Fishman Island, but let's just get a little recap from where we left off. The Straws captured Caribou after his crew failed to raid the Sunny. Luffy tamed the Kraken on their way down to Fishman Island. An underwater volcano erupted, causing the Sunny to get tossed to the seafloor. Just outside of Fishman Island, they were confronted by Hammond of the new Fishman pirates. Hammond gave them an ultimatum: join the crew as their subordinate or die. Luffy declines the offer, and the Sunny blasts through the bubble of Fishman Island, sending the Straws in different directions. Luffy, Usopp, Sanji, and Chopper woke up in the Mermaid Cafe and were reunited with Kami. They paid a visit to the Mermaid Inlet to meet Kami's friends. The barrel containing Caribou washed up on the inlet as well. The mermaids were approached by the three princes of the Ryugu Kingdom and hid the pirates who had entered illegally. Sanji could no longer hold his excitement in and had a massive nosebleed, putting his life in danger. Chopper begged for someone to donate blood out of desperation. The new fishermen pirates showed themselves, mocking the Straw Hats for being unaware of the law that does not allow fishmen and humans to mix blood. Kami commandeered the prince's ship and took off with her friends. Prince Fukaboshi explained to the mermaids that they were expecting the pirates and just wanted to relay a message from Jinbei. You guys want to just hop right into the first chapter for the episode?
Sure.
Let's do it.
Okay. Let's get to chapter 610, Madame Sharley, Fortune Teller. Sanji woke up in bed and was fortunate that there were humans here to donate blood to save his life. Chopper notices Luffy had been injected with venom while fighting the fishmen, though Luffy appears to be resistant thanks to his experience with Impel Down. The barrel containing Caribou has been opened by the mermaids, though Caribou is now missing. Kami introduces the Strats to the cafe owner, Sharley, who also happens to be a fortune teller. She tells him Papagu is spending time with an old friend at the cafe. They find him hanging out with Brook. Brook notices a wanted poster for Vanderdeck in the Ninth. Kami tells them that the Ryugu Kingdom has been searching for him for years, due to him demanding to marry the princess. On the way to Papagu's store, they also notice the large banner of Big Mom, one of the emperors, on the candy factory. She has now taken over the territory from Whitebeard in exchange for candy. Back at the Mermaid Cafe, Madame Sharley has a vision that caused her to panic. She announces that Straw Hat Luffy will cause the destruction of Fishman Island. All right, where to start on this one?
Luffy causing chaos? I don't believe it.
No, it couldn't be.
Not our Luffy.
All right, so yeah, start with that vision then. What do you guys make of that vision?
She's got to be misinterpreting it, right? Like, it's because she just sees a straw-hatted person. So maybe, I don't know, maybe it's someone else accidentally puts the hat on. We'll see. I don't know. Or, yeah, Luffy just causes chaos, but...
Yeah. I can definitely picture Luffy being the center of the chaos, but whether it was his fault or not, we will see. But not a hard vision to believe, I think.
Yeah, see, I think it is pretty shocking. Because we know Luffy typically doesn't have bad intentions, so it is surprising that he would be the one to cause what she refers to as ruin. So that doesn't imply a good thing. Do we think that this is something that is intentional? That might be intentional on Luffy's part, or do you think, like Sean said, it could be like maybe she's misinterpreting something?
Yeah, I think it might be a misinterpretation of Luffy being drawn to the center of chaos. Because, I mean, we've seen him come and go from so many different cities and situations, and whether I think his intentions are always good, but he definitely does have a tendency to leave a wake of destruction in most cities that he makes an appearance at. So again, I think not too hard to believe, but yeah, I don't think I don't think it's a fully accurate prediction.
So you think it's more like maybe he does something inadvertently that ends up causing like Fishman Island to be like destroyed or something, or get attacked, or
Yeah, that's more where I'm leaning.
okay. Yeah, we don't really get too much information here. I just think it's something interesting to think about because it is so vague, but it's also pretty ominous, and it feels unlike Luffy to want to cause destruction. So we probably could infer that's something that he doesn't really want to do. But I guess we'll have to kind of see what the circumstances are down the road.
Yeah. I will say, as an appreciator of Monster Girls, Madame Sharley is S tier.
She does have a cool design.
She has an incredibly cool design. And traditional Oda's gargantuan tits, but should have expected nothing less from him at this point, considering Nami's redesign.
I also noticed that she's blowing like bubbles with her her pipe. Is that like smoke?
Nice. Sean's got a type.
I do. Also manages to actually get Luffy to apologize. So that's nice. After he asks if mermaids poop. Vulgar boy.
Which I wanted to actually kind of mention because we see a trend where Luffy asks this question, but he's already asked Kami if mermaids poop. So I don't know, because like I actually went back to look to see what her answer was, and she says sure, and then she goes to say something else, but then she gets cut off by Sanji saying mermaids don't poop. So I don't know if Luffy felt compelled to like dig deeper because he didn't like the answer he got last time.
You get it quite the right. You need one more detail. Yeah.
Just the way like Usopp smacks Luffy while like he's just like smiling, but it's almost like it doesn't affect him, and like the goofy look on his face. Yeah, it's good stuff.
I continue to not be a fan of anything involving Sanji in this arc, and that will not cease anytime soon. I'll say that much. Aside from that, it's another cool introduction to more Fishman Island society, and it's a good like. Papagu gets quite the role. He is the full on tour guide. He's exposition plus tour guide plus business owner. Like, yeah. Vanderdecken.
Yes. Yeah, so Vanderdecken also gets a little bit more information here because our introduction to Vanderdecken was when they first arrived at Fishman Island. Watatsume was the giant that was under Vanderdecken's command with the Flying Dutchman. So he gave the order to destroy the Straw Hat ship. But now we actually get a little bit more information about Vanderdecken, and we learned that he's actually the 9th in line. He's a descendant of the original Vanderdecken. So I think that kind of gives like the illusion that Vanderdecken is like kind of like immortal because he's been doing this for like decades. But it's actually been like descendant after descendant controlling the Flying Dutchman. So I think that's kind of like a neat way to have like a legend behind this character while having a way that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And we get more of his motives, where Kami explains why he's wanted by the kingdom, and he's been sending threatening letters demanding the Mermaid Princess hand in marriage.
Oh, okay. So he is he is a Fishman incel.
Yeah, so it's like going to be a contest this arc to see who's a bigger creep. Is it Sanji or Vanderdecken? So
a few cool things from the chapter for me were Hyozu, the hitman fishman.
Yeah.
Some pretty cool character design.
Yeah, I like him.
I like his octopus merman character design. Samurai kind of vibe.
Yeah, so he's not actually a fishman. He's a merman. He's still part of the new Fishman Pirates.
Oh, sorry, yeah, new Fishman Pirate. Right.
But he is a merman by classification. I think it's because he has the lower half of the fish part.
Right.
Because he doesn't actually have legs. So I think that's part of the classification.
He's got tentacles.
Yeah, and he seems to be the one that poisoned Luffy that he didn't know about. So, Evan, what'd you think about this development that Luffy is now seemingly resistant to poison?
Yeah, I thought that was a cool way to work it in. You know, we definitely saw him take on a lot of poison back in Impel Down. So yeah, I thought that was a clever way of like kind of working in his immunity to certain like poisons and toxins.
Yeah, I think that's going to be pretty useful to have
For
that.
sure.
It seems like the treatment in Impel Down, where he had to pretty much rebuild his body, um, rebuilt it in a way that um, he's now more resistant. He's not like immune, but he's more resistant to the poison.
Hmm.
So I think that alone will be helpful. But like his body seems to be handling this pretty well, and Chopper was surprised to see this.
Yeah. Maybe now he can eat all those poisonous mushrooms.
Yeah, his palate just expanded.
Yeah, right.
You just have to spend 10 hours a day on the toilet.
Another cool reveal in this chapter was we get Big Mom's Jolly. I don't think we've seen that yet.
No.
We've heard mention of Big Mom and we've seen a silhouette, I believe, but this is the first time seeing the Jolly.
We also get her name because we never actually were given Big Mom's actual name, which is Charlotte Linland.
I'm pretty sure her name. I'm pretty sure her name is BG Mom, by G Mom. Like, you know, she's of the G clan,
The Will of G.
the Will of G. No, but yeah, Charlotte Linland.
It's kind of like a situation where it's like we have Whitebeard and Newgate, and now we have Big Mom and Charlotte Linland.
Mm-hmm.
They're like their nicknames. So yeah, she's claimed the territory over Whitebeard. She's like, "Oh, free territory! I'll take advantage of it." But she's not as benevolent as Whitebeard seems to have been, where she's doing it in exchange for candy. So it's kind of like, as long as you guys give me candy, I'll fly my banner for you guys. So it's a little bit more of like, protection racket, where it's like, yeah, if as long as you pay us, yeah, we'll protect you. Yeah, no worries. But yeah, as soon as like the money stops coming in, it's like, all right, well, fine, you're on your own. But yeah, she just wants candy. So the exchange is loads of sweets every month. So she demands a monthly payment of a lot of sweets.
Damn.
All right, you guys got anything else for this one?
I think I'm good.
There was one more reveal. The barrel that was holding Caribou is portrayed here open. So I think Mudman's on the loose.
That can't be good.
Can't be good.
And then in the SBS, we also just very quickly, I don't remember if Oda did reveal all of the devil fruits before for the admirals. I know he revealed the chili fruit, but we also get the mag fruit for Aki Inu and the glint fruit for Kizaru. So this might have come up before, but he does bring it back up here. All right, so let's move on. Chapter 611, Hody Jones. The Gyro pirates see an opportunity to escape from the new Fishmen pirates. Hody decides to deal with the humans himself, taking a handful of energy steroids. The threats arrive at the Crimin store and find Nami causing a scene due to their prices. Papagu lets the Straw Hats take whatever they want for free, so they take everything. King Neptune arrives to everyone's surprise, inviting them to the palace. Hody finds the Gyro pirates' ship and wipes them all out. He tells his crew to send the defeated humans to the surface so they can send a message that Hody did this and to stay away. Hody declares they will overthrow the kingdom and take over as the rulers of Fishman Island.
Do we have Arlong? We have Arlong at home.
Timu Arlong.
Timu Arlong. This guy does not make a great first impression for me.
Nah.
He just seems like Arlong is just way cooler looking than him. He just seems like he'd like, I don't know. He looks dumb. I don't like his hat. Also, are we going with Hody Jones and not Hordy Jones? I've heard different varieties.
Yeah, I've heard Hody Jones too. I'm pretty sure. Well, because the Viz,
I think Hody
calls
sounds
him Hody.
better.
I like it better too. I think
Yeah.
the Crunchyroll / Funimation dub uses Hody.
Yeah.
The card game uses Hody. So I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure Hody's the more accepted version for
Hody it is.
the official. Yeah. But one thing he does have is these energy steroids. So we know he's already probably pretty tough. We know from Arlong Park that fishmen are roughly 10 times stronger than humans. So here he is just downing energy steroids. He has like a whole handful. And he just chomps on them. Was it this chapter where they say like how it affects him?
Yep, it says the price of that increased power is the shortening of our lives.
Yeah, so it's Z over here that says fishmen are 10 times as strong as humans. A single dose of energy steroids will double that strength. 2 pills will double it again. So yeah, like you said, it's it decreases their life, but it gives them like a power boost right off the bat. So just like a fishman alone is already tough, but now you add the energy steroids on top of it, I think it's a game changer.
I think it's a bitch move. But if that's what you got to do, Hody, then okay.
I mean, that may be the case, but I mean, you can't argue with the results either. So if it's working for them,
not.
It might help them achieve their long-term goals. But we do also get introduced to the other members of the crew. What do you guys think of the other characters?
I mean, I think the double page spread intro here looks really great. Just like an impactful page, and definitely like a powerful looking group of Fishman pirates.
Any stand-ups for you guys?
Does Zero have a 2
Zio
on there? Oh, Zio. I read it as 0 and then saw the 2, and I was like, that's confusing.
He does have a 2.
He does have a 2.
But I don't know why. Because I don't think anybody else has numbers. Yeah.
Not that I can see. I like Daruma's character. He looks like a Daruma doll.
He does, yeah. Yeah, I really like Zio's design too. I didn't look this up before, but this time reading through I did. So he's a Wobbegong shark. Because I looked at him, I'm like, this guy does not look like a shark. So then I looked it up, and like the kind of shark he's based on is like it looks more like a shark, but it has kind of like these kind of spots on it that also kind of give like the illusion of stripes, and the face does have like the little protrusions in the front. So I can see why his mouth looks like that. It's because the Wobbegong shark does have like that feature on it. So he doesn't quite look exactly like one, but you can see the influence in his design with an actual Wobbegong shark. I thought it was kind of funny to see. Like he looks pretty different because a lot of them are based on sharks, except for like Icaros much. But yeah, I thought his design is pretty cool.
Yeah, and to that point, like kind of them emanating the sharks that they are. At the end of this chapter, when we see Hody Jones fighting, there's a lot of panels that make him look very much like a shark, which I think is really cool. Like when he's attacking the ship, we get a few like you can see his jaws, and he kind of looks like a shark attacking.
Yeah.
And we get this really creepy, like blood-soaked grin, which is pretty menacing. This like guy who's basically a shark who's like on these crazy power drugs, is a pretty scary prospect.
Yeah, like and even seeing like the panel with like Gyro's claw, he has like a crab claw, and you can see that the claw getting like split, and it's like knocked off his arm, and the blood splattering. So not sure if like he just like took a big bite out of Gyro and killed him. But yeah, he just bites through like Gyro's claw, and shows like it was like nothing for him.
Yeah, I think he bites his arm off. That don't we see?
I mean, very very likely.
Oh yeah, on the very last page, we see him floating there, and his arm's floating next to him, or his hand, or a hand. Maybe not his hand, but a hand is floating right next to him. So I think he might have gotten his arm bit off.
He might not be the only one.
Definitely not.
And then I also like how Dosun's a hammerhead shark, but he carries a hammer. He has like a giant like hammer as a weapon.
Gotta stick to a theme.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then we also catch up with Nami, who of course is haggling.
Of course.
So she's trying to get like less than half price because she's complaining that her friends' prices are too expensive. And Papa Gum sure regrets the decision to let them take wherever they want for free. Maybe like, hey, you can take one item from the store of your choosing. Like, no, yeah, take whatever you want. He didn't think they'd take advantage of it, but like they are pirates, so
Mm.
And
At least they got
Papagoose met
permission.
Nami before. Should have known better.
King Neptune.
King Neptune, he shows up here.
His pet whale Ho.
I think it's probably pronounced like Hoey, but
It's
yeah.
probably pronounced Hoey.
But yeah, I like his design too. The
Yeah. Interesting text too there. I feel like I haven't really seen that like that serifed font.
I think they did use it like for the supernovas.
Yeah, for the supernovas, you're right.
Yeah.
That was the last time we saw that.
But it is kind of this big like introduction for the names.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had some cool intro pages, I feel like, this volume. And even just in like the past two that we just spoke of, including like the double page panel with the fishmen sharks, our samurai octopus, and the claw-handed guy.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Gyro. Crab hand gyro.
Yeah, Gyro. Crab hand gyro. Yeah, I just really like what Oda's doing here with like the overlay. I feel like he's done it before, but he's like leaning into it more now, and it looks really cool.
Yeah, I like Luffy's reaction to seeing Neptune, where he's like, "What a hairy guy," and Papa's like, "Hey, don't be rude. Bow down to him. That's the king. Show him respect."
Yeah, Luffy is known for showing deference to royalty. Definitely something. Don't worry, it's gonna happen.
We also see a familiar shark wearing a t-shirt.
We did see him before
in this intro.
So we get his name, Megalo. And they get invited back to the castle. So at first they were like, "Oh, let's run away from the princes. We came in illegally," and now they're like, "Oh, we're being formally invited to the palace."
Hoey looks shocked or like scared.
Like, he's seen some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just the last thing I wanted to mention briefly was at the beginning of the chapter, we get a good look at the Ark Noah. It's like a giant ship. It kind of gives us like a little better idea with the scale.
It's a big ship.
It's a big ship. It almost looks surrounded by like tree trunks, almost, or something like it.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's hard to make out because it looks like there's like buildings like in like a giant like clamshell.
Yep.
But like, looking at the buildings, they're like very tiny compared to the actual ship.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's just the last thing I wanted to mention. Do you guys have any other thoughts?
No.
No. This road rage is scary though. No joke.
Yeah, he does look very menacing. And we know his intentions are not good because he announced that he wants to take over the Fishman Island Kingdom.
Not good.
But yeah, that also does give us like an explanation for why like the humans have been not coming to Fishman Island as often and why they've been seeing a lot of like wreck ships lately. It's pretty much because Hody and Vanderdecken have been kind of like taking out the arrivals at Fishman Island, so it's kind of like slowed down like the traffic coming through Fishman Island. And we see they've been kind of been jerks about it.
Just a bit.
All right, but let's move on to chapter 612, Taken by the Shark They Saved. A few hours ago, Caribou had escaped when the mermaids opened the barrel. He used his swamp powers to capture the mermaids and hide them in his body so he can sell them at Sabaody. The royal army suspects the Straw Hats were the ones who kidnapped the mermaids. Prince Fukaboshi meets with the mermaid Madame Sharley and discusses her vision, deciding they should take caution when it comes to the Straw Hats. On the way to the palace, Neptune thanks the Straw Hats for saving his daughter's shark, Megalo. Zora was found earlier and is already at the palace drinking. He also explains to them that they're able to see sunlight thanks to the roots of the sun tree Eve that reach down here. They arrive at the palace for a banquet in their honor. King Neptune is greeted by the ministers, but have unfortunate news. Luffy gets impatient and wanders the palace looking for food, where he finds giant doors. He follows the smell of food and enters the dark room, where he finds the giant mermaid princess, Shirahoshi. All right, so yeah, we find out what happened with Caribou. We have a little flashback here.
Yeah, this is gross.
Indeed, he is gross.
In several ways.
In a shocking turn of events, Caribou continues to be a gross creep.
Yeah. What a dirt bag. Yeah, this is creepy.
He's a little scummy. But we do get the reveal of his devil fruit. So he's got the swamp fruit.
Gross. It's almost like he can make quicksand and then trap people within himself.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, because he's not killing the mermaids, because like it wouldn't make sense if he was gonna try to get money for these dead mermaids. So he seems he's able to store them in his body somehow and not kill them. So that's good at least, but that's also pretty horrific.
Yeah.
Pretty bad. Yeah. No redeeming qualities for Caribou.
No. Yeah, pretty despicable. Yeah, he's just looking to wait till like kidnap these mermaids and make some money off of them. And now the Straw Hats are getting blamed for Caribou's actions.
It's just getting worse.
Not good.
I mean, it is understandable that the Rigu Kingdom would draw that conclusion, and Caribou did come with them.
Yeah.
But they don't know the details. All they know is that they were at the Inlet Cove, and now the mermaids are missing. So they're the most likely suspects, and they have doubts like that. Well, we don't really know these pirates, so maybe they've been, just trying to trick us and take advantage of our hospitality, and just try to, kidnap some mermaids. And then on top of that, we have Sharley's vision, which also kind of reinforces the fact that the Straw Hats might not have good intentions. So from the residents of Fishman Island, it does make sense that the Straw Hats would be kind of bad guys in the situation.
Yeah, it's not a good look.
Although, contrary to that, we do get confirmation that the Straw Hats did save Megalo. I know we kind of talked about it in the last episode where we weren't really sure if they did save him. Like it was like another Kami situation, but I guess it was. I don't know where Megalo was when the Kraken had him. Maybe he was like in one of the arms or something.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever they did, freed Megalo from the Kraken. So Megalo was like, "Oh yeah, they're the ones that saved me." So they want to have like a banquet to honor them.
I love that. And they roll up to the kingdom, and Neptune rings the doorbell on this massive bubble. Just hilarious.
Oh, King's here.
Yep, King's here. Ding dong. We also get a cool bit of information regarding how the seafloor is getting sunlight.
Yes.
Nami, I believe Nami asks, and Neptune explains that it is the sun tree Eve, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I like this explanation. And again, it's like One Piece science. So you just have to kind of accept it.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess the concept is that there's a tree that goes down to the ocean floor here. It goes down so deep where the roots hit the ground, but it's able to absorb the sunlight from the surface and basically transmits it down here, and it replicates the day and night cycle of the sun from the surface as well. So it's a nice way to just explain why they can see and why it's not just pitch black down here. So it's more fun to have a place that they can functionally be in, as opposed to hey, this place is relatively just pitch black. We have like flashlights everywhere.
Yeah, I think it's a fun explanation, and I think it's cool that Usopp then asks the question, is there any connection with Jewel Tree Atom, the wood that Sunny's made from?
Yeah.
I thought that was a cool point.
Yeah, because when they mentioned that, I also was thinking the same thing. When Usopp mentioned it. Like, okay, cool. We're on the same page, Usopp.
Yeah. Wood with magical properties.
Yeah, the Adam and Eve trees.
Pretty cool.
And it just make me laugh how Luffy's so contained to be like so disrespectful to the king. Because like that seems to have like this whole cry where he's like, ho ho ho, like hold on tight, Neptune. And like he's like, why do you have a stupid call?
Stupid call.
Old guy.
Did he make fun of like what was this? Gonfell?
Oh, a Gonfire?
Did he have a call too? I feel like with his bird. I don't know.
I don't remember.
I don't know. It seems kind of that's a kind of a dick move from Luffy. Yeah. let him have his fun. He's an old man.
Yeah. But imagine just going around announcing your name.
I guess he good him and Haruma, man.
We also get a really go ahead.
No, you got it. I think you're gonna say the same thing I was.
I was going to say there's a really brief mention that Frankie is seeking out Tom's family. Is that what you're going to say?
Oh, okay. No, it's not, but that's a good point.
Yeah, I thought that was a really cool point. He's looking for, Tom's family, which I think is cool. And, like, makes sense that is immediately what Frankie would want to do upon reaching Fishman Island.
Yeah. Because we know Tom was originally from Fishman Island.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. He has his family here.
Pretty cool.
I'm sure his family will also create weapons and then take no credit for them being used for horrible things.
Well, the Eve tree is right here, so I mean, it's just here for the picking.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say was we get this cool look at the palace with a giant dragon going around it.
Incredible.
The Rigu Castle.
Yeah, this is a truly stunning page. There's so much detail here. It looks incredible.
Yeah, it's a nice design for the palace and some cool details. And then I looked it up. What it says on the castle is dragon.
Oh. You think it would say something like King Shark or something, but dragon works too.
And then Ryugu actually means dragon palace.
Oh, yeah.
So it makes sense.
Very neat. Like Brooks says, it makes Papagu's mansion look like a doghouse.
Papagu's like, I'm right here. Like, are you sure you guys are my friend? Like, come on.
First you cleaned my store out, now you're insulting my abode as well. Like,
wow, look at that puny mansion. How embarrassing. And then we meet the ministers of
the left and the right. Which is one way to do it, yeah. I control everything over there, you control everything over there. Very simple.
Yeah, and in the new Zelda game too, Echoes of Wisdom, they also have a similar thing where there's like a character that's like minister right and minister left, but like they spelled like a little differently. Like right is like with the W. So like I wonder like if there's like some kind of just like a normal trend where that's like a thing. But I did think it was funny how they're like scolding the king for like leaving. And it's like you have to be like more responsible, and then they're like, "Oh man, this guy's really getting chewed out." It was almost like kids like visiting their friend's house while their parents yell at them. And you just kind of sit there like awkwardly while like your friends get yelled at. And then we end the chapter with the reveal of the Mermaid Princess.
Big lady.
Yeah, so what are your impressions of Shirahoshi?
I'm a fan. Big lady.
Yeah. Quite the reveal. I did not see that coming. Yeah, she is massive. I also love how Luffy sees this door that has like these axes and like looks
That must be where the
incredibly
food is.
uninviting, and he's like, "Yeah, this is it."
The pitch black room.
Yeah,
This coral is like jelly.
yeah, it's pretty funny.
Oh, give me a break. I didn't do anything to you.
Yeah. So Luffy inadvertently stumbled upon the mermaid princess, who is locked in this tower. He's just looking for food, not trying to cause any trouble, and maybe he is causing trouble after all.
Beautiful princess locked in a tower. Classic.
Yep.
Classic.
All right. Anything else before we move on?
I think we're good. Big lady.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get more of the big lady in just a moment. But before we do, we actually have a new cover story, which we haven't had for quite a while. It's been a big gap. But we're back to the cover stories. So we have limited cover series number 19, Decks of the World, Volume 1, News Coup Across the Seas. The news coups carry the newspapers with word that the Straw Hats have returned.
Did Sanji finally get a new photo?
Probably not, but we'll
Hard to
see.
tell. It looks like all the Straw Hat crew is pictured here. And by process of elimination, it looks like Sanji's in between Zoro and Nami.
I think it's the back of his head.
Looks like, yeah, maybe the side of his head, back of his head.
Yeah, I think it's the back of his head, so you can't see his face still.
Oh my god. Well,
He'd probably be happier with that than photo previous.
But still doesn't really like show like who he is, so you can't be like, oh yeah, that's definitely me.
I'm sure it's making everyone back at the Baratier laugh.
Right.
All right, let's get into chapter 613, Mermaid Princess of Shell Tower. Vanderdecken throws a large axe with a rose using the power of his Mark fruit, so he'll home in on the Mermaid Princess. He has been throwing items at her for years until she decides to marry him, putting her life in danger. Luffy notices the axe fly through the open door and stops it before it can hit Shirahoshi. The guards come in to investigate the commotion, and Shirahoshi hides Luffy. The guards warn that the Straw Hats had kidnapped the mermaid, so she needs to be careful, as it might come after her. The other members of the crew have already been taken captive. The guards leave, and Shirahoshi introduces herself to Luffy, as she explains the situation with Vanderdecken, so she is not allowed to leave the tower, while Luffy stuffs his face with food. Luffy suggests that they leave, and he offers to protect her from oncoming attacks. The other Straw Hats stand their ground and defend themselves from being captured. Zoro had broken out and helps the others. Hody Jones and Vanderdecken meet up and have formed an alliance to take down King Neptune together.
Okay. This one.
Have at it.
I don't like that. I don't know. It just feels. No, actually, that's more the next chapter. We'll get there. For now, it's fine. I do love Luffy's answer to. Do you mean you're a bad person? I don't know if I'm a bad person. You can decide for yourself.
I like that.
Me too.
Yeah, Luffy's not like concerned about like winning people to his side. He's like, I'm just gonna do my thing. Yeah, you can like me or not. That's fine. But like he's like respecting people to make their own decision. He's not like, oh, I'm a good guy, believe me. He's just like, yeah, you're free to make your own opinion.
I don't like that he's constantly like calling her a crybaby, and it's just like genuinely mean on his part. I think it's like just dude, he doesn't like it's an example of like Luffy just fundamentally doesn't understand other people's situations. Like he doesn't get how she's been raised in such a sheltered environment, which would lead to this level of and the paranoia and the fear she's felt constantly from being literally attacked by this asshole. And his response is, just stop crying. It's like, dude, that's genuinely shitty of him to say.
Yeah. But it's very much like the Kobe thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
where like it's like
it's
Luffy
a
from like chapter
it's a
2.
character flaw of Luffy's.
Yeah, exactly. Luffy from chapter 2 is consistent with Luffy in this chapter, where it's like I hate people like you, like who like don't stand up for yourself, and you're whiny. It's like Luffy's perspective is like, well, just just protect yourself, like. But he's not like really understanding the intricacies or the situation fully. So sure, she's trying to explain to him like the situation. So he does see firsthand too, like that she is in danger. Like this axe, it comes flying at her, and at least he does the right thing and protects her because he left the door open. But but yeah, it's very close.
Yeah, the Mark fruit I think is kind of a hilarious devil fruit. I'm picturing this guy like on a ship just like chucking objects in random directions as they like just, in this instance he throws it the complete wrong direction. It pulls a complete 180 and chops part of the mast off of his own ship. It's just like such a haphazard devil fruit. And he clearly is not taking any kind of care or putting much thought into this at all, which I think is hilarious.
No, and his motivations are very like terrible.
Yeah.
So like his whole like mindset is like, oh, I'm gonna send these messages to the princess, big, hey, marry me, and like my way of trying to convince you is I'm gonna try to kill you until you say yes. So pretty horrible. Yeah, he even says like swear your love to me or die. Your life only consists of marriage or death.
Jesus, Captain Incel.
Yeah.
Like...
Another cool character intro page, though, I think, with like this overlay of like the close up of his face in the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like the way that Oda introduces these characters.
Got these like webbed hands.
It's gonna be like the worst paper cuts ever.
Oof. That's gonna be hard to unsee.
Sorry. I've had that before, and it's just
yeah, but this devil fruit power is pretty hard to deal with because like he can target her like no matter where she is. So like pretty much anywhere in the world, he's like, all right,
it's kind of OP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I sure she's not a narc. Like, so it's pretty cool of her. Even when like they explain like her life is in danger, the person that could be here could be trying to kidnap her. She still takes like a chance. Is like, no, he's not here. I didn't see him. But yeah, it's unfortunate because the Strats were invited here for the banquet for saving Megalo, and now they're essentially, it was almost like they were brought here just to be captured.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
I'm just realizing now that the princess calls Vanderdecken's ability as the Mark curse and not like ability or devil fruit, just the Mark curse. It is an interesting perspective.
To her, it essentially is a curse.
Yeah, that's true.
And I wonder if she's familiar with the concept of devil fruits because she does have like a sheltered life. So I don't know like how exposed she's been to this concept of devil fruits. So she might not even like realize that there are people with like abilities out there.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Although he is a fish man with a devil fruit in the water.
Yeah. This is true. That's really the first instance of that we've seen.
Yeah, so I wonder how it is affecting him.
Huh.
Maybe that'll be an SPS question that comes up. Yeah, and then at the end we have confirmation
that unholy alliance.
Yeah, an unholy alliance with Hody and Vanderdecken. So they meet up and they're like, "Nice to meet you. Let's overthrow a kingdom together." Oh, and Evan, did you notice this detail where Vanderdecken puts a glove on?
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be bad. Hold on just a second.
He must be real poisonous.
I love the little question mark that comes from Hody's head. It's just like, huh? Don't worry about it.
Don't ask questions. Nothing to see here.
How does the glove work with his webbed hands?
Don't ask questions.
It looks like it kind of like it's wide enough for the webs.
Oh, you're right. It does. It has webs. I take it back.
Hmm. But when he does the handshake, it's like looks like he closed it, so you can't really see
Yeah.
the webs.
No, you're right. There is a webbed glove.
He only puts the one on. All right, you guys got anything else for this one?
I'm good.
I did like seeing the Straw Hats defend themselves here. I like how Luffy's like, oh, they'll be fine. They can take care of themselves. And then we cut to
Your guards can't
the Straw
stop
Hats taking care of themselves. Yeah. We've kind of, in self-defense, have kind of taken over the castle.
I like the panel with Brooke taking the sword out. He's kind of got like this look on his face. He's like very serious. Which is kind of rare for Brooke.
Well, yeah, you take what you can get from Brooke.
Yeah, he's like pulling out the cane sword, which is pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
Okay, let's move on to the next part of the cover story. Decks of the World Volume 2, Windmill Village. The town celebrates Luffy's return to the world.
Windmill Village!
Windmill Village!
Most of them are happy.
Yep.
Except for Whoopslap, the mayor. And
Makino
has a kid.
Oh. Ooh.
He's got a little kid.
It's like going back to Pewter Town in the beginning of near the halfway point of a Pokemon game or something. Or whatever. The starting town, you're like, hey.
Oh, Pallet Town.
Yeah, Pallet Town. That's what I was looking for. Pewter Town.
Well, that would be
Pewter City.
Yeah, Pewter City with the first gym. Yeah,
that's what I got confused with.
Yep, you're on the right track.
Thank you, Joel.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, let's wrap up the volume with chapter 614. Too late now. The Strats defeat the palace guards and tie everyone up, including the king. The three princes have returned and ring the doorbell to find the Strats have taken over the palace. Zoro relays their demands, and Fukaboshi agrees to meet their demands in exchange for the safety of their king. However, he also delivers Jinbei's message to Zoro to pass on to Luffy. Jinbei wanted to tell Luffy not to fight Hody, and that he will be waiting to meet at the Forest of the Sea. Sanji has recovered enough to walk, so he decides to head to the palace to see the Mermaid Princess, after learning that the other Straw Hats were captured there. Chopper reluctantly has to go along with Sanji. King Neptune begs the Straw Hats to allow them to check on the safety of Shirahoshi, so Brooke agrees to accompany the Minister of the Right. Shirahoshi tells Luffy that she wants to see the Forest of the Sea. Luffy comes up with the idea to hide her inside Megalo, and they leave the tower of the palace as the Minister of the Right and Brooke witness this.
It just feels so shitty of them to just tie up Neptune in his own palace like this. Like, defending themselves is one thing, but now they're like taking hostages, and it's like this is by far the most like classic piratey they've ever been, and it feels a little weird to me. Like, they tie everyone up. Was that really necessary?
Honestly, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, the alternative is that they leave them free and then they just keep fighting, and at least they're not fighting to the death. They're just like, hey, let's just tie them up so that way, you know, they don't try to kill us, and we're not going to kill them.
Well, they weren't going to try to kill them. I don't know. I think they are more. They are not doing themselves any favors here. Like,
no, it's not looking good. Like, they could have been captured and gone along with it and waited for the names to be cleared, but that's not their style.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah,
I'm just realizing that like the royal guard is just all dressed up in these like seahorse outfits.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that before. It's pretty hilarious.
I like how Nami is like, we're hurry, just tell us where. And then Usopp's like, yeah, where's Luffy? And then Nami's like, where's your treasure chamber?
Some things just don't change.
Yeah. Like every time like they meet like a new kingdom, it's like, all right, well, I know they have treasure. Come on, let's go. Cough it up.
We get Jinbei's message here.
Yeah.
Do not fight Hody. and I await you in the forest of the sea.
So it seems he's here after all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that the message doesn't get to Luffy, but it's fortunate that's where Luffy's plan heading anyway.
He's heading there anyways. What a coincidence. In other news, we get to see Chopper doing the Kung Fu point.
Yes,
Yay!
Is that a new one?
I think
that's
it
a
is.
new one.
That's a new one.
Which
Looks like a little torpedo.
Yeah, one thing to know is that defies like the rules of a Zoan Devil Fruit, because he has an additional form that normally Zoans don't have.
Oh.
He's evolving. Not your average zone type here.
I guess not. But yeah, basically, Shirahoshi has been like quarantined off in this tower by herself for the past 10 years. So Luffy's like, "Hey, like that's not fair to you. I'm sure there's a place you want to go. I'll go with you. I'll protect you." So she has had a very sheltered life. But Luffy's like, "Hey, I want you to be able to see more of the world." So he's like, "Oh, you gave me food. I can at least pay back, even though I think you're a crybaby.
And a
Like,
wimp.
I want to do this favor for you."
And his plan is to shove her inside of a shark.
Yep.
A Luffy plan indeed.
Go, shark.
So like, yeah, Mega looks so goofy, like all puffed up, but the Shirahoshi like shoved in him. He's like looks so uncomfortable. But yeah, it looks like Vanderdecken's like using something new this time to throw at Shirahoshi. So he threw these human pirates. So they were essentially like torpedoes that like were like launched into the wall to get to the palace where Shirahoshi was. So it's actually very fortunate that Luffy like just snuck Shirahoshi out before, you know, these pirates could have gotten in.
Coincidental serendipity.
Yeah. Just very fortunate timing.
Yeah, Vanderdecken throwing his own pirates.
Well, they're not his like crew. They're like pirates that he's like kind of defeated, and it's like, hey, like now you're gonna just do this for me. So it's not like he's like taking like his trusted out. I don't think I wouldn't put it past him to also do it to people like he like were on his crew, but I think he's just like, oh, you guys are like fodder. I'm just gonna throw you guys over there because do my bidding.
Brutal. I'm just like picturing him like throwing somebody overboard and then they just like are falling and then take off like in a random direction.
There's also this other detail here. So the page after Nami was trying to find out where the treasure was, she's also talking about how they can't leave because the log pose is acting strangely. She said it hasn't stabilized at all. And then the minister of the left says you won't be able to navigate the new world without simple log pose. What a stupid bunch of pirates you are. They're saying like your log pose isn't going to work. So now Nami has to like kind of learn like why not? But he's like giving that information out.
He ain't. I don't blame him.
Yeah. Do you guys got anything else for this chapter or the volume as a whole?
I enjoy the overall chaos of it, but I like the chopper scene in this one, and I love Shirahoshi's design as Big Lady. You know, I love that. But everything else in this is just kind of like it's too much for me. It's just there's misunderstanding label on top of misunderstanding on top of misunderstanding to the point where it's just like it becomes a little too chaotic for me. I don't know.
I see.
We'll get there when we get to ranking things, but yeah, I love the Megalo image at the end of Shirahoshi just holding onto his lower teeth like that really works. I like that.
How about you, Evan?
I mean, things are escalating. Things are starting to seemingly run out of control for the Straw Hats, and it's all kind of playing into that Sharley's vision of Luffy being the center of this chaos coming to Fishman Island, and we got our villains teaming up and making their goals known. So yeah, I think things are heating up. Things are progressing and kind of spiraling out of control.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious to see where this takes us.
Yeah. And yeah, I do think there's a lot being set up here. So that you can take that how you want. It could be a good thing or a bad thing. Um, with this arc, it is very chaotic so far. Even just like the journey to here, and then the arrival here, and now all these circumstances. There's a lot happening, and a lot of it is kind of like you guys are saying, is like misunderstandings, and like there's a lot of times like when I'm watching like media, and there's like misunderstandings where it's like if people just explain things, they would be able to sort things out, but they don't, and that kind of frustrates me. I don't think that's the case here. Like at least like this happening, I feel like a lot of these pieces are lining up in a way where it actually makes sense, which I don't think is common when these things are set up in like stories or media. So for me, that's at least like a plus, where it's like even like all these things are chaotic, and it's a misunderstanding. All these things are adding up, and there are pieces put into place to justify why they're playing out this way, and I can actually understand the motivations for a lot of these characters. So I do think it'd be fun to keep this arc going and see how this starts to play out. I think there's a lot of like nice things being set up here, but I also think there's some things we'll get into later on that are less good, but like I think Sean and I will go into that once we have more details. But
We'll get there when we get there.
But so far, I just think I think this is a pretty fun start. On that note, that will conclude this week's episode of the We Are Reading One Piece podcast. You can find this episode wherever podcasts are found at We're Reading One Piece podcast.buzzsprout.com or on the YouTube channel at We're Reading One Piece. This is a spoiler-free channel up to where we record the podcast, so if you're new to the series, you can visit the channel there. You can also find me and this podcast on my YouTube channel at Park King Codex for more One Piece content. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, you can reach us at werereadingonepiece@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from listeners, so if you're enjoying the show, or if you have any suggestions on how we can make it better, let us know. Next episode, we'll be starting Volume 63, Otohime and Tiger. I've been Joel, and I've been joined by Sean.
This has been Sean.
And Evan.
Thanks for listening.
Be sure to bring along all of your hopes and dreams, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Get inside the shark, Evan, or Joel will have to do it again.